everything to prove and so much at stake. Sweden endured their worst ever qualifying campaign.
The team was in a bad place just because of results.
For Scotland, Czechia, and Türkiye, the wait has been too long.
I think a lot of players maybe held the burden of, we've not qualified since 1998.
Od úspěchu a všichni jsme měli, že to je vlastně...
Nell'area c'era sempre questa voglia che terminasse la partita.
Journeys shaped by adversity and drama.
Viktor Gyökeres has the match ball.
As their bid to qualify for the FIFA World Cup went to the wire.
If this goes in, Czechia are on their way.
"26 years ago, I was still young enough to put my boots on and play."
They are the life and soul of the party.
I think I was 3.
Yet the last time the Tartan Army had an invite to the FIFA World Cup was in 1998.
I can't remember a thing. I was too young. But it's crazy that it's been so long.
I think a lot of players maybe held the burden of, we've not qualified since 1998.
And they have never made it past the group stage of a major competition.
Scotland in the past, there's always been maybe a hard luck story, maybe a so close but yet so far, and we wanted to change that.
In recent years, Scotland have been rejuvenated under the leadership of Steve Clarke.
When I first took the job 6.5 years ago, because I hadn't qualified for a major tournament in so long,
he ended a 23-year tournament hiatus by qualifying for the European Championships twice.
Steve Clarke's been a massive influence and reason is why the team's developed so well. He knows how to get the best out of this group of players. Certainly, when the players playing at a high level in Europe, it gives us such confidence and belief in each other.
we have a good mix of players. John McGinn, Andy Robertson, Scott McTominay. Energy, drive, and obviously a lot of talent. I think that's been key.
There's a few of us from very early on, we tried to kind of set that standard within, the Scotland change room. Constantly pushing yourself to be better, constantly pushing yourself to, new limits.
Yet one thing was still missing from this squad's resume. A place at the FIFA World Cup.
The playoff in 2022 was a pretty low moment as a Scottish player.
It's not plain sailing to become a professional footballer. If I look in any change room I've been in, there's always been bumps along the way in terms of all footballers, and I think that's then what makes you resilient, that's what makes you stronger. We've had setbacks at times and we've always bounced back.
To get to the FIFA World Cup in 2026, only top spot would guarantee automatic qualification. A strong campaign set up a showdown for first place at Hampden Park to guarantee their place in North America and Mexico.
Denmark were the clear favourites to win the group.
We knew we had to win against a good Denmark side, so we knew it'd be a tough night. But normally that type of game is pretty cagey.
The Denmark game was probably the craziest night I've ever been involved in football.
McTominay! It's brilliant! Oh my word!
It was one of those moments you think, wow, did that just happen? It was a great way to start the game.
It is a dagger through Hampden Park!
A game of twists and turns.
Denmark reduced to 10. Scotland!
To concede, to go to 2-2, and how many people in the stadium or at their tellies or at the pubs were going, is this going to not be our night again?
I knew this team had something different, huge character, personality and a never say die attitude.
Oh, Tierney!
Kieran made it 3-2, and you have the big celebration, but you've still got probably 5-6 minutes of injury time still to go. And then when we had the counter-attack with Kenny, there was actually an overload on the right and an overload on the left, and I'm thinking, just make the pass. see the game out, get the ball in the opposition half, but obviously Kenny saw something different.
Oh! What about that? These are the Hampden heroes!
The emotions were just incredible, that feeling of qualifying your country for a first World Cup in nearly 30 years. I think it will go down as one of the best games ever at Hampden.
We just keep going, and we find a way to win games, and that's why we're sitting here today, and that's why, you know, we're going to the World Cup. We love the history of the Scottish national team. We love the people of the past, people that have got so many caps for this country or that have qualified for major tournaments. The 98 squad, we have so much respect for them, but it's up to us to create our own story. We want to keep creating our own history. No Scotland team's been out the group stages, and I think that's a realistic aim for us.
For us to give the Tartan Army a moment to remember in America would be huge. I'm sure they'll have a great time and they better bring some sun cream.
To have any chance of making history, Scotland was first qualified from a challenging group. Beginning their campaign in Boston against tournament debutants Haiti on June 13th. They remain in Boston to face 2022 semi-finalists Morocco on June 19th, who they also lost to in the group stage in 1998. Their final group game sees them pitted against Brazil in Miami on June 24th, a side they have faced 4 times before at FIFA World Cups.
Všichni jsme měli, že to je 20 let od úspěchu a všichni jsme měli, že to je vlastně, dá se říct, 3 minuty penalt od úspěchu, jo, takže...
It was in Germany. My father was present on the stadium. We won the first game against USA, and then we lost both games in the group stage, and it was over for us.
Before their split with Slovakia in 1993, Czechoslovakia were FIFA World Cup regulars, qualifying for 8 tournaments and runners-up, twice in 1934 and 1962, gracing us with the talent of Josef Masupos. As an independent nation, Czechia has produced greats such as Petr Cech, Thomas Rosický, and 2003 Ballon d'Or winner Pavel Nedvěd.
Mezi jsme hráli nějaký eura, tam jsme vždycky byli, jako Česko, jsme ještě nechyběli, ale tady to je prostě jiný svět, to mistrovství světa a jsem hrozně rád.
Qualification for 2026 was heading in the same direction.
Prohra s Faerskými ostrovama nebyla dobrá. Teďkon vlastně tady ta prohra nemá se stávat.
Head coach Ivan Hasek was sacked. Angry fans protested. In the next qualifier against Gibraltar, a must-win game, players would be denied financial bonuses for ignoring their fans post-match. And Thomas Souček lost his captaincy.
Nějaké nepochopení z obou stran, nedopadlo to vůbec dobře. Možná teď my hráči bychom to udělali jinak, třeba i fanoušci by to udělali jinak, tak vlastně to mě mrzí, vlastně myslím, že to mrzí celý tým.
Despite the controversy, the 6-0 win over Gibraltar was enough to finish second in the group and secure a place in the playoffs. The man brought in to lead the dressing room through the playoff campaign was 74-year-old former Victoria Pilsen head coach and veteran Miroslav Kobek.
Určitě ta mentalita měla rezervy a já si ve své praxi jako potrpím na precizní organizaci hry, na taktických věcech a na tom jsem od začátku pracoval.
V semifinále jsme se setkali s Irskem. Samozřejmě pro mě jednu chvíli to bylo strašně složitý, když jsme prohrávali 2-0, tak jsem měl v hlavě. Ale byl jsem rád, že jsme to otočili a vlastně po nádherném skóre pro fanoušky emocionálně 2-2 na penalty.
Klimt with a chance. Czechia will go through to face Denmark.
Ne, užíval jsem si ten moment, že jsme postoupili, ale už jsem přemýšlel, nebo hnedka jsem se ptal, jak hráli Dánové. To byla obrovská výhoda, že vlastně jsme měli fanoušky za zádem, domácí prostředí, byli favoriti a my jsme do toho chtěli vstoupit velmi dobře, což se nám podařilo. Ale pak oni vyrovnali.
We will have extra time in Prague.
Ale všichni jsme věřili.
Czechia lead again.
We were so close to win the game. We got the slap back and we had to go to penalties.
Jsme měli, že to je 20 let od úspěchu a všichni jsme měli, že to je vlastně, dá se říct, 3 minuty penalt od úspěchu. Nedali, tak to nás zvedlo sebevědomí o to víc.
So Czech wins the duel. 2 out of 2. It's saved by cover. Czechia on the brink. If this goes in, Czechia are on their way. Czechia are going to the World Cup.
Je to po 20 letech, Česká republika se dostala na šampionát světový, takže je to speciální chvíle a všichni si to užíváme a děkuji hlavně hráčům a divákům.
Big relief and now we can celebrate.
Technikou nebo třeba rychlostí nás ty týmy by zvládly přehrát. Fotbal je o tom, kdo má i větší srdce, kdo tomu bude víc naproti a díky tomu jsme to zvládli v těch play-off a díky tomu jsme tam a věřím, že vlastně díky tomu můžeme zvládnout ty zápasy na mistrovství světa.
Czechia are in Group A with Mexico, South Africa, and Korea Republic. Their 20-year absence from the tournament finally ends on June 11th in Guadalajara, where they play Korea Republic. Then they travel to the USA, where they play South Africa in Atlanta on June 18th. And finally, they go back to Mexico to play the co-hosts on June 24th in Mexico City.
Should I look in the camera or at you?
Okay.
I think my first memory watching the World Cup was 2006, where we played against Paraguay and Sweden won the game. I think it was one of my first very good memories as a Swede watching the World Cup. And of course that gives us excitement to believe even more in the same and even better at this World Cup.
Vincenzo Montella was an Italian striker who made one appearance in the FIFA World Cup in 2002 against Mexico.
Fu una partita molto, se non ricordo male, era la terza del girone. Ricordo che andai sulla destra, spostai un po' la palla e crossai a rientrare per Alex che fece un gol bellissimo.
That great Italian side eventually crashed out in the round of 16. It was seen as a major underachievement, whereas one nation defied the odds.
Türkiye champion!
Turkey reached the semifinals of the tournament. The first time in their history. Yet neither Türkiye nor Montella have returned to the FIFA World Cup since.
Strana, no, più che strana, simpatica coincidenza, no? L'ultima volta che abbiamo partecipato ai mondiali sia la Turchia che io.
As a head coach, Montella boasts an impressive resume, leading high-profile clubs such as Roma and Milan, before his appointment as the Turkish national team boss in 2023. Being adopted by a passionate nation comes with its own pressure. His main task was to qualify for the FIFA World Cup in 2026. The feat not achieved since the 2002 Heroes 24 years ago. It started with a disaster against Spain.
Lì è stata una lezione, siamo stati tutti bravi, soprattutto i ragazzi, a gestire quell'umiliazione, perché tale è stata a livello sportivo, e questo ci ha permesso di crescere il nostro livello.
Turkey's renaissance has been inspired by the talented youth of Real Madrid star Arda Güler and the experience of Inter's Hakan Çalhanoğlu. 6 months after the Spain humiliation, Türkiye arrived in Spain, needing a seismic win to gain automatic qualification and top spot.
Sì, no, oggettivamente era altamente improbabile, no? Ribaltare un risultato, se non sbaglio, di 5 o 6 gol o più, ma poi in fondo anche un pareggio lo è stato, perché per la prima volta nella nostra storia siamo riusciti a pareggiare con la Spagna.
And a crucial improvement, which would give them much needed confidence going into the playoffs.
I playoff sono comunque partite secche dove può succedere di tutto. Poi c'è il talento, perché il passaggio di Arda è stato geniale, così come l'inserimento di Ferdi, il controllo e la freddezza sotto porta, insomma.
Türkiye one step away from the World Cup.
In campo c'era comunque un clima di una finale playoff. È successo un po' di tutto a livello climatico durante la partita, che è arrivato anche un po' di nevischio.
It's a wonderful save. Turkey lead.
Poi Kerem ha toccato la palla, ha fatto il tap-in, però nell'area c'era sempre questa voglia che terminasse la partita, che si portasse a casa questa qualificazione storica per noi dopo 24 anni.
Turkey have done it back on the biggest stage of all.
Ma io non me ne sono accorto, penso, dopo qualche secondo che fosse finita. Ci siamo uniti nello stesso sogno di tornare ai mondiali insieme dopo così tanto tempo. Questo periodo l'ho vissuto da turco, insomma, no? E quindi per me era veramente uno spartiacqua. Il nostro capitano ha invitato quella squadra vincente a venirci a trovare quando saremo tutti qui prima di partire per l'America, e spero che ci sia la possibilità per poterli, no, prendere anche un po' della loro aura che ci accompagni nel nostro cammino.
If Turkey are going to emulate the heroes of 2002, they will have tough opponents standing in their way in Group D. First up will be tournament regulars, Australia. This will be in Vancouver, Canada on June 13th. They move south of the border to play Paraguay on June 19th in San Francisco. Finally, they play the co-hosts, USA, a nation they have never played before in the FIFA World Cup. This will be on June 25th in Los Angeles. Sweden's World Cup qualifying campaign was the worst in their history. With no wins and sitting bottom of the group, head coach Jan Dahl Tomasson was sacked and replaced by the well-respected former Östersund boss Graham Potter, who arrived in October 2025 following his departure from Premier League club West Ham. Potter lost and drew the final 2 games of the qualifying campaign. No team has ever qualified for a FIFA World Cup winless and bottom of the group. Yet as winners of their Nations League group earlier in the year, they were ensured a playoff spot, a lifeline, and a chance of entering the FIFA World Cup.
As you get older, you realise that life is ups and downs, and some things are good and some things aren't.
Sweden's record in the tournament is good. FIFA World Cup regulars, they have qualified 13 times, runners-up in 1958 and semi-finalists on 4 occasions, the last time in USA in 1994. Their most recent outing, quarterfinal finish in Russia in 2018.
Of course, I weren't at the World Cup 2018. That tournament was amazing to see from home.
Yet after failing to qualify in 2022, the prospect of an 8-year absence from the tournament had become a genuine possibility.
With the qualification we had, with a lot of doubters, we were at the bottom and the only way was up. Graham had a surprise for us. He showed videos of our relatives and their girlfriends and wives and children to wish us the best for this camp. I think his main focus wasn't the tactical bit or the part on the pitch. It was mainly getting the group together.
I think he's brought a lot of good energy into the group.
I've never doubted my ability. I know that if I'm in the right situation with the right support and belief, then I think I can achieve things.
Potter's philosophy of togetherness was evident in the playoff semi-final against Ukraine, personified by Viktor Gyökeres. Relentless.
And Gyökeres is there!
Resilient.
Viktor Gyökeres with a second for Sweden!
And ruthless.
Viktor Gyökeres has the match ball.
Viktor Gyökeres' hat-trick connected the team, fans, and the nation. Bringing a storm of energy into the final playoff versus Poland in Stockholm.
Of course, there's a lot of pressure before a game like this.
Alanga!
But then, you know, it's small margins and it can go either way.
Poland pull themselves level.
Either you're the hero or you're the villain.
Gustav Lagerbielke!
We had to suffer, we had to dig deep.
Poland fight back again in Solna.
The players were fantastic and showed great togetherness.
We run for each other, we fight for each other, and then at the most vital moments we pull through and put some star quality up front.
Viktor Gyökeres single-handedly sending Sweden towards the World Cup.
We had, I think, 4 shots in a row, so I was just screaming, yes, yes. And the whole stadium just exploded.
Sometimes it almost feels like an out-of-body experience, you know? You watch a goal go in and quite late and it's almost like, is this really happening?
I feel incredible, proud, and I'm really pleased for myself and for the team that we finally made it to the World Cup.
I know these players and my teammates here in the national team almost better than I know my childhood friends, because we've been through so many emotions and really been through the ups and downs. To have a World Cup summer together with them.
It's going to be a memory for life for me. It's hard to sink in, but we're so looking forward to it.
Sweden will hope to carry the energy and momentum of the qualifying playoffs into Group F. They start their campaign against Tunisia on June 14th in Monterrey. The second game sees them face fellow Europeans, the Netherlands, on June 20th in Houston. Before traveling to Dallas for the final group game against the talented Japanese side on June 25th.